Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine and Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice, coffee, energy drink, tea, whatever you got, as we go over this week's crypto news, or this past week's crypto news. This is pre-recorded and not a live stream. I'm going to do my best to be in the chat with you, but I do have some family obligations. We just came back off the holiday. I didn't want to miss another Caffeine and Crypto, so I wanted to get you guys an episode out there. It's Friday right now. January 9th, you can see Bitcoin sitting around 90K, Ethereum around 3,000, BNB right below 900, XRP above $2, Solana over 135 or thereabouts. So some of the altcoins showing some resilience while Bitcoin has fallen, but yeah, it's still, kind of hit or miss right now. You can see that we've fallen quite a bit since the previous or most recent all-time high. We even got a red dot here. Which kind of signifies a pullback, which we have had this past week. If we count from what was the earlier, this Sunday was the 4th. Yeah, Sunday, January 4th. If we look, we were kind of marching up Monday. So Sunday, Monday, marching up, and then we pulled back a little bit. Let's measure that high, that rise up was about 4%. And then as we hit, later on that Monday going into Tuesday, we then proceeded to fall about 5.76%. So kind of erasing the gains from the beginning of this week, unfortunately. But is 2026 going to be the year? The year for altcoins to move up, for Bitcoin to move up. Hopefully we don't have any black swan events, any craziness with the world and what's going on. But we did have, at least for today, the Supreme Court defer the tariff ruling. And I think if we go just for today, let me switch over to the hourly. If I think we go, things started to get positive earlier today, right? We came in Friday night, Thursday night, Friday chopping sideways. We started to fall down this morning, Eastern Standard Time, and then we started to move up as the news was moving around, and then we fell back down. Not as low. We've kind of put in a higher low here, but we'll see how things pan out. I always like to zoom out and look at the structure instead of focusing on the short time frames, but you can make some good money in this market, in this ebbs and flows, this upwards and downwards trajectory. You can see we kind of been ranging between 94 and 88 or 80. Yeah, I would say like 86, 85, somewhere in there for a minute. Kind of a tight range. If you go tighter than that, it would probably be between 90K and 94K. But we'll see how things pan out, because Bitcoin surged toward 92K. Obviously not, because we're back down to 90 at time of recording, as the Supreme Court defers tariff ruling. Bitcoin briefly surged around 92K on January 9th after the U.S. Supreme Court delayed a ruling on Trump administration's reciprocal tariffs. The price quickly retraced, however, triggering a $20 million in liquidations and returning the asset to 90,000 from the 92,000 zone. Supreme Court deferred a high-stakes ruling on the legality of Trump's administration reciprocal tariffs. This upward momentum offered a brief reprieve from the digital asset, which had earlier slipped to below 90K, marked following reports the major centralized exchanges have offloaded an estimated $3 billion in Bitcoin. The relief rally proved short-lived, and by 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, the cryptocurrency had entered a sharp retracement, surrounding the bulk of its court deference included gains, or induced gains, The court deferred induced gains. The aggressive reversal triggered a liquidation cascade, wiping out approximately 20 million in short positions within 4-hour window. And that's a problem, right? A lot of the trading today is leverage trading. Well, there's a lot of spot, but we got a lot of people playing with leverage, and some of them are doing really good and some of them are doing really bad. I don't understand. I don't really like leverage trading. It's not that I don't understand it. I don't really like it. But some people are making some really good money out there. I mean, if you're a pro at it, great. I'm happy for you, but you'll see a lot of liquidations. And matter of fact, on both sides of the aisle, where it's shorts or longs, just getting wrecked. But people continue to at least have that capital. I'm not sure if everybody has the capital to leverage like that, but there's apparently some people that do. And crypto, as much as people give it crap, has made a lot of regular people thousandaire, millionaires, some of them even billionaires. I don't know if we had a Bitcoin block hit recently this past week, but I know it was recently around the holidays. So we'll see how things go. I do know that NiceHash, as far as Bitcoin mining, and why am I bringing this up, I'll tell you in a second, did hit a block. You got a team gold block and then a solo block for like team mining, or not team mining, but like somebody bought like I think the M package or whatever, and that's pretty substantial. It's very lucky and substantial. So hopefully, and the person did reveal themselves, which I encourage you not to do. Like if you hit a decent amount of money, and it's only $300,000 in Bitcoin, but if you hit a decent block, you hit a block, that's some decent money. If you reveal yourself, do it at your own your own expense, because somebody knows you and it's like, oh shit, I know boy, he's down the road. I'm gonna grab my 9. Next thing you know, you're being because remember, a lot of people in crypto have been getting jacked up and threatened for their crypto. So just be mindful, be cautious. You don't have to tell everybody that you're a millionaire. You don't have to tell everybody that you got good money. It's not everybody's business. Tell the people that are important to you, but don't reveal too much. Moving on, skeptics insist that a ruling declaring the tariffs illegal could spark immediate contagion across the U.S. stocks and bonds. In this scenario, the resulting de-risking event, driven by a sudden projected increase in U.S. budget deficit, could drag the crypto market down in a broader flight to safety. While the Supreme Court is now expected to deliver its verdict on January 14th, prediction markets suggest a shifting sentiment. Some punters interpret the delay as a sign that the conservative dominant bench is wavering on whether to torpedo the administration's signature trade policy. This theory is reflected in Polymarket's odds, where the probability of tariffs being upheld ticked up from a low of 21% on January 7th to roughly 26% following the deferral. And you got to remember, Trump is doing this, and you guys can have your opinions on what side, I don't care. Trump is doing this to try to force these countries to the table. I think there would be a more elegant way, a more diplomatic way, a way with more finesse to get these people or companies or organizations or countries to the table to kind of get a better deal for the U.S. But Trump is going to do it his way, bull in the China shop, try to get people to the table. We'll see how things go in the long run, but I'm not a political channel. This is a crypto channel. So we had a little mini rally Friday due to the deferral of the tariffs, but now here we are. We pull back the failed rally. I wouldn't even call it a major rally, but it was a short-lived expression of euphoria, and we'll see if we can climb back up. It's only the 9th of January. Can January switch into a green month? It would be nice, because if we look at the monthly, ever since October, we had 3 consecutive months of green. Right now, we had 3 consecutive months of red. Right now, January is green. You can see we're just hanging on to that EMA 20. But can we move up despite the significant resistance ahead of us if we do? And don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section, live chat, or wherever on X, so on and so forth. The University of Michigan Sentiment Index for January rose to 54 against the forecast of 53.5 to 52.9 in December. The closely watched one-year inflation expectation rose to 4.2% from 4.1. This gauge, though, remains highly susceptible to political affiliation, with Democrats expecting inflation of 5%, Republicans just 1%. So there's a lot of things that going into it and the landscape of the economy. And that includes crypto, as much as people don't want it to be. But we got Coinbase down 2.3%, Gemini down at time of recording, 4.5%, MicroStrategy 5.6%. And, obviously we got a lot of the mining, Bitcoin miners, pivoting to AI infrastructure. Those stocks are up significantly. Or not significantly, but, 2 to 4%, so on and so forth. What does this say? KuCoin hits record market share at 2025 volumes, outpaced crypto market. Congratulations, KuCoin. Moving on, I do want to play this video for you. And chat over it while we do. I will be redirecting you to Red Panda Mining after this premiere. But just hang tight there. Job market, I think, came in better than expected. Or, excuse me, unemployment came in better than expected. We'll look at the other part there. Some altcoins kind of ticking up also subtly. Very small amounts. And Zcash. We talked about it. Radio was released about it. Zcash ECC team or devs departed. Caused the price to pull back a little bit. It was the best performer, though, for 2025. Leading to a number of the crypto mining community members to go and get some Zcash miners or to dust off their Zcash miners and put them back to work. It is down. Matter of fact, let's go take a look at Zcash. It is down, but it's not as bad to where it started, right? So yeah, here we go. So we're on a daily here. You can see right here. Let me get a little marker for you. So I think the news broke around this time, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see that we dipped down. And let's measure that real quick. So we'll go from about middle here to down here. Fell 25%, but has recovered. Sitting around 416. When I made my video, it was like 430, something like that. You know, that caused some people to liquidate their holdings of Zcash. But there is some positive news. It did have a little bit of a bounce, 13% bounce. They launched a new wallet. After Zcash developers exit, Balaji, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Yeah, so after the Zcash developer exit, Balaji backs Zcash developers and launches new wallet. So a little bit of a bounce and some new updates from Zcash. We'll see. It is still one of the top privacy tokens. We'll see what happens and what the team moves forward to. Zcash can scale. Zcash must scale. Zcash will scale. Balaji wrote on a post from X. And yeah, we'll see how things go. There's a weird comparison, but Zcash reminds me a lot of BitTorrent. BitTorrent famously survived the peer-to-peer file sharing wars because it was the only file sharing protocol that didn't demean themselves by marketing towards illegal piracy. Bram Cohen's refusal to ever make BitTorrent, and that's the same guy that made Chia, by the way, make BitTorrent about wires or pirating music. It's always the spirit of decentralization software, decentralized software, distributing data sets and downloading Linux OSs. Because BitTorrent always carried itself with a mission of integrity, they were, I can't even pronounce words today. When Napster, Kazaa, and file sharing platforms were taken down, nobody could take a shot at BitTorrent. Zcash has the same wow, I cannot talk. Same energy, basically. Say what you will about them. The Zcash team are true believers in cypherpunk. See, that's the thing. We talked about that in that video I released. Is the landscape of crypto back then compared to now are two different things. So there was a governance dispute. The ECC team is out between the Bootstrap board. There was a clear misalignment between the Bootstrap board and Zcash's original mission, and therefore these individuals had dippity-doo-dah. Price took a hit. It rebounded a little bit. We'll see what happens to Zcash in the long term. But let me know what your thoughts are. Did you get your old Zcash machines back up and running? Did you go out and buy one of those Zcash machines? And I already hear some whispers of somebody making a new Zcash machine. I can't disclose anything yet, but I'm hearing whispers or like the chips from some of these other miners and kind of like making similar to BitAxes. I see it's all noise right now. But if I get some concrete data, I will definitely let you know. But definitely let me know what you think about the whole Zcash situation. But yeah, I had a nice little bounce, as we could see here on the chart. Let's switch over to the hourly real quick. You can see the bounce. Boop. And kind of stabilized right now. So we'll see how it does long term. Yeah, and it's excited to see them continuing to move forward in some form or fashion. But it was the top performing asset in 2025. So last bit before I let you go, we are going to watch that CNBC crypto newsreel. But we got the next phase to go beyond new blockchains article. Crypto markets edge lower after U.S. jobs miss expectations and altcoins defy slump as XRP Solana notch double-digit gains. So let's take a listen to this.
Today, Bitcoin closes the week above $91,000. Bank of America upgrades Coinbase to a buy rating from neutral, and Franklin Templeton's Roger Baston explains the firm's partnership with Wyoming on the state's stabled token, which is now available to the public.
A lot of stable coins. I don't care too much
Welcome
for
to
stable coins.
CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Segalis.
Mackenzie.
Major cryptocurrencies mixed to end the week after the latest jobs report showed the U.S. added fewer jobs than expected in December, but the unemployment rate did tick lower. Now, as of noon Eastern, Bitcoin climbed to above that $91,000 mark to close out the week. Ether traded pretty much flat, holding on to the $3,100 level. XRP, however, fell more than 0.5% even after Ripple won regulatory approval in the UK, securing registration with the Financial Conduct Authority.
That's a big one for XRP, by the way. That's definitely a big one for XRP.
This allows Ripple to expand its licensed payments platform, giving UK institutions the ability to send cross-border payments using digital assets. Now taking a look at the week, major cryptocurrencies are in the green. As of noon, Bitcoin is up nearly 2% over the past 7 days, its first consecutive week of gains since September. This is also Bitcoin's first weekly close above 91,000 since the end of November. Now, Ether is up less than 0.5% for back-to-back weekly gains for the first time since August. XRP, it is up more than 7% for the week, notching 2 straight weekly gains after 4 consecutive weekly losses. Now, also taking a quick look at Coinbase, shares are down more than 1% as of noon Eastern, even after Bank of America upgraded the crypto exchange to a buy rating from neutral. However, the bank left its $340 price target unchanged. Bank of America believes that long-term growth opportunities and improving product momentum could forge Coinbase into an everything exchange and drive its shares higher. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Yet another crypto company is moving into prediction markets. U.S. digital asset derivatives exchange Bitnomial got the nod from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
Yay, another derivatives exchange. Yay.
To move forward with event contracts. The CFTC issued the approval yesterday, noting that its Division of Market Oversight and Division of Clearing and Risk have taken a no-action position regarding swap data reporting and record-keeping regulations for certain swap contracts in response to a request from Bitnomial. Now, a no-action letter essentially means Bitnomial is able to proceed with the new offering. In a news release last month about the firm's plans to launch these contracts, the president of the Bitnomial Exchange and Clearinghouse said prediction markets represent the next frontier for regulated derivatives, and no other U.S. venue offers this combination of products with unified trading, clearing, and margin.
That's been getting very popular, too. Like, Crypto.com, if you open up your Crypto.com app, if you haven't dusted off in a while, that's a big prediction market. Pancake Swap got another prediction, like, excuse me, I shouldn't say large prediction market, but, the prediction arena, so to speak, is becoming more and more popular. I see it on Crypto.com, I see it on Pancake Swap, and I see it on other platforms in the DeFi space. Predicting, what the asset might be at a specific time, and if you're right, you gain. If you're not, you lose your funds, whatever. Derivatives, leverage. There's so many different options out there to gain some exposure to crypto and to lose money and to gain money. It just depends on which side you play and how good you are at playing it. I just don't like betting or gambling as much. A lot of people like sports betting, and I think this is where you can capture some of that sports betting market, is in these type of platforms right here.
Now, other crypto firms exploring prediction markets include Gemini, Robinhood, and Kraken. Last month, Coinbase unveiled a slew of new products in an effort to be a one-stop shop for financial services, one of them being event contracts. Next, President Trump says that he has no plans to pardon disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. That's according to the New York Times, whose report.
All right, now that you heard that, let me know what your thoughts are in the live chat of this premiere. Should Sam Bankman-Fried be pardoned? Let me know your thoughts. No poll or anything. I'm not. If you're in the chat, Serpent, go ahead and post a poll for everybody. Future Serpent. But I would say no. I would say no. Because all it would take is him to get some VCs behind him to launch a new exchange, say we're going to do it better than before. I'm really sorry I messed up. And yeah, if you screwed up once in a big way, I don't think you should get a pass. I know some of my favorite crypto OGs messed up in the past. Nothing as big as this. Something similar, like what happened with our boys Charlie's Exchange. But yeah, I don't know. I just get a bad taste from saying, even though I wasn't one of the ones affected by Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX because I didn't trade on FTX or FTX US. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section, in the live chat, or the premiere, or whatever.
Reporters interviewed the president at the Oval Office this week. When they asked Trump about plans to pardon some high-profile inmates, SBF was also mentioned. In his current term, Trump has issued multiple pardons for those with crypto ties, like early Bitcoin adopter and creator of the dark web platform Silk Road, Ross Ulbricht, the BitMEX co-founders, as well as Binance founder Zhao. In 2024, SBF was sentenced to 25 years for fraud and conspiracy that led to the downfall of FTX. All right, for our main story,
all right, now we're moving on. I just wanted to get those topics out of the way. Let's see.
The World's Talia Kaplan spoke with Roger Baston, head of digital assets at Franklin Templeton. They spoke about Wyoming's stable token, which is now available to the public thanks to the investment firm serving as the state's strategic partner on institutional grade reserves, management, and custody.
And that was a mouthful. So yeah, more stable coins. Don't really care too much for it. You let me know what your thoughts are, but I'm good on stable coins. Altcoins defied a Bitcoin slump as XRP Solana notched double-digit gains. Of course, that was before. Let's see. We saw the close as far as the futures or the CME goes. But yeah, so XRP and Solana are up nearly 10 to 7% over the past week, retrospectively, according to CoinGecko data. Other tokens, including SU, BitTensor, Shiba Inu, have notched up gains 14 to 17%. The performance contrast with Bitcoin's lackluster price actions, whose year-to-date gain has halved to 4%, and Ethereum, which has similar retrace from 11 to nearly 4%. The altcoin rally reflects a classic rotation pattern, capital flowing towards perceived upside optionality when macro uncertainty peaks, says Marcin. Solana and XRP benefit from specific narrative tailwinds, but the move is largely sentiment-driven rather than fundamental. This may be why these tokens are of more interest, says Nikolai, who is a researcher of on-chain analytics platform Nessun. And this quote was provided to Decrypt. They also go on to say they're wait to see mode. So wait to see how these altcoins perform before they're jumping in. Key near-term catalysts include U.S. unemployment report in the 9th, which we got today. So against the unemployment report performed better than anticipated. And a U.S. Consumer Price Index, or CPI, on the 13th. So we're looking at the next date on the 13th that could propose or lead to some sort of mini rally, a little jump up, so on and so forth. Heading into the weekend, we can expect continued volatility, says Kaz again. And the experts agree that early next week will be more telling, with the upcoming U.S. economic data set to provide the next major signal for institutional risk appetite and potential resumption of the market-wide uptrend, right? So we try to push up, didn't get there. Some of the market is moving into altcoins. We saw some altcoins pick up. We'll see how things move on further. U.S. labor data showed the economy added far fewer jobs than expected in December. Bitcoin is trading near 90,000, down 1% over the past 24 hours, while Ether is changing hands around 3,000, down nearly 1.5%. Among other large cap tokens, XRP, we talked about that, Solana, yada, yada, yada. Total cryptocurrency market capitalization stood at roughly 3.19 trillion. Matter of fact, let's go look at that real quick and see what the market cap is. So it's actually went down. If I move out of your way here, you're going to see it's at 3,000 or 3.08 trillion right now. Liquidations in ETF flows, about 180 million in leverage positions were wiped out over the past 24 hours, according to CoinGlass. Long positions accounted for roughly 105, and short liquidations total 84 million. Bitcoin recorded the largest share of liquidations of around 55 million, followed by Ethereum at 46. Elsewhere, Solana recorded about 12 million, and XRP and Zcash each saw 10 million and 4 million respectively. I wonder how much that Zcash liquidation plays into what the devs did the other day. The ETF space flows remain mixed. Bitcoin spot ETF recorded nearly 399 million in outflows on January 8th, while Ethereum posted spot ETF posted about 159 in net outflows. So we still got outflows going on. The flow pattern suggests tactical balance sheet management, moving, adjusting, whatever, ahead of macro catalysts, not a breakdown in long-term allocation. For now, Bitcoin is behaving like an asset waiting for permission with macro clarity, not crypto-specific news, likely to determine whether it can reclaim a higher ground. So yeah, we'll see how things go. The economy added about 50,000 jobs in December, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, marking the weakest monthly gain of 2025. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate edged lower to 4.4, down from the revised 4.5. So while unemployment did perform better than anticipated, there's not much jobs out there, which is why I talked in the past. This is not related to the channel, but what I mentioned in the past is like, you know, people like Frito-Lay laying off people like Amazon laying off people, you know, these individuals who probably worked with the organization 10 plus years, 20 plus years, they're probably not getting adequate education and training to learn new skills, especially with AI becoming so prevalent in the space or in multiple organizations and fields. It would be best to learn some form of AI in some capacity to make your job or to assist you in, you know, kind of job security, I guess you could say. I'm doing the same thing at my job. No one is safe, unfortunately. Last bit of article here. Crypto's next phase goes beyond new blockchains, says A16Z. Anderson, Crypto Arm, said the industry's next phase will be defined by its impact on markets. I'm sorry, I keep butchering people's names. Computing infrastructure and media, not new blockchains. The outlook builds on firm's broader 2026 thesis that infrastructure, not speculation, will define crypto's competitive edge. I kind of agree with that. We need to improve infrastructure both in crypto and outside of crypto. But anyways, the user also asserted that the next phase in the industry's evolution this year will be defined less by blockchains and more by how technology reshapes markets, computing infrastructure, and media and prediction market scale. Right, there's the word again, prediction markets. It's getting very popular. Cryptographic proofs, movement to enterprise systems, and financial skin in the game becomes a new foundation for trust. A new outlook published on Thursday, the division argued that the crypto native tools are increasingly spilling into industries far beyond decentralized finance, driven by advances in cryptography, artificial intelligence, and marketing design or market design that allows blockchain to serve as an infrastructure rather than as destinations. And there's so many companies out there that could take advantage of blockchain if they implement it, whether it's for tracking goods, making sure goods are legitimate, like VeChain and UPS or whatever, storing data in a decentralized way that's accessible but not, you know, editable, so immutable. There's a number of different organizations, companies, and infrastructures and like as a whole that could benefit from blockchain and the tools that you know, crypto and some of the available assets and markets can offer to companies to try to expand further. But yeah, prediction markets are getting crazy. You're going to see that a lot more as it becomes you know, a major part of the broader crypto sectors. So keep an eye out for that. Staked media. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So cryptographic proofs and staked media. Beyond prediction markets, A16Z Crypto said in 2026 could mark a turning point for cryptographic proofs as they move into non-blockchain industries. Justin Thaler, a member of the firm's crypto research team and an associate professor of Georgetown University, opined that the advances in zero-knowledge virtual machines are dramatically reducing the cost of generating proofs, making verifiable computation viable for cloud CPU workloads and eventually consumer-scale devices. Taylor said that the shift could unlock long discussed use cases such as verifiable cloud computing, allowing businesses to obtain cryptographic guarantees that computations were executed correctly without having to rerun them. As proven overheads continue to fall and hardware performances improve, he said cryptographic verification could move beyond blockchains and become a common feature of a broader digital infrastructure. The firm's third theme focused on what is called the staked media, a model in which creators, analysts, and commenters use crypto tools to make publicly verifiable commitments that align their incentives with their claims. Robert Hackett of A16Z crypto editorial team said tokenized asset, programmable lockups, and on-chain histories allow media participants to demonstrate credibility, but by putting capital or reputation at risk in a way audience can audit. Seems a bit interesting to me, but some of my content creators and people in the media space will need to comment and let me know. Again, you can hit me up on X. You can comment in the video. You can comment on the live chat going on during this premiere. And there's a number of different ways to hit me up. But I'm always interested to hear your thoughts. I appreciate every single one of y'all commenting. And that's going to be pretty much it for this week's episode of Caffeine and Crypto. Again, it's a premiere. It's a pre-recorded video. I'm getting some stuff done for the family. We should be back to our normal live streams next week. But yeah, got some very important stuff happening. Wife's birthday's coming up soon as well that I need to prepare. So I appreciate you being patient with me, as I haven't been live streaming as much and I haven't been able to put as much content as I normally would every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as I used to for so many years. But I will be, and you should be seeing regular content coming out in the future, if not once a week, twice a week, and so on. But let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to stay up to date. And do me a favor, whether you stop by for a second or the whole time, hit that like button. If you are here the whole time, throw me a little something in the comment section to let me know you watched this fully through. Let's see here. What can we do? Hashtag Zcash Devs. Let's do that. Hashtag Zcash Devs if you made it all the way through. You can see how that's slumped down compared to everything else. That's kind of having like a little uptick right now. But I think Zcash will be fine in the long run. It's always good to clean house. It sucks that one of the top performing assets in 2025 had this happen at the beginning of 2026. But if there's a misalignment in the governance and the key team and the key devs, then there's going to be friction. There's always going to be friction. But yeah, so Red Panda Mining is coming up next. You should be redirected there unless I screwed up, which is possible. And yeah, prediction markets. Bitcoin pushed up on Friday, but then fell back down due to positive. I mean, it's only 4.5 versus 4.4, which was expected. Unemployment data. We're waiting on the CPI on the 13th, and Zcash devs left. At least the ECC side did. New wallet coming out for them. Did you buy miners during that bullish moment of Zcash? And are you biting yourself, are you kicking yourself in the rear for buying those Zcash miners? I want to hear from you. Let me know. All right. Seriously. We got to go. I got to go. You got to go. Hit that like button on the way out. Enjoy Red Panda Mining and any of my colleagues' streams. Much love to you guys. Take care. I'll catch you later.